decided to give you this one for free for Patreons and my YouTube subscribers. I'm going to do it live. Don't ever say Cino ain't do nothing for you. Don't forget to hit the like button coming through the door. Subscribe to the page. There's a Rick James playlist we have probably at the end of this video. You might see that later. I don't know. But subscribe to this page. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Absolutely. Oh yeah, we came to get down. What's happening, man? Now, when you start talking about Rick James, you talking about the baddest entertainer in the world. And he'll tell you about it too. Oh yeah. This is pretty much in between the stories you've heard. Remember the Prince story? This is all entwined in the same area. Now, here's the thing. Charlie's home from the military. So he's got the Jerry curl, he's slick back. He's been running around with Rick James. So him and Rick got cool, and now they like bosom buddies. Now, every hotel back then used to have like a lounge, like a cocktail lounge. So it's not like the hotels are today. You know, they got a little mini bar, some of them. Back then it was more smooth. Like, you know, like a club almost. So those lounges be kind of dark, you know, you sit in the back, they play some good tunes, you know, right outside the hotel. So most of the people that were staying at the hotel were quite famous. And Rick James was, you know, synonymously famous. So Rick ain't tore up. He ain't even messed up yet. Because he was too busy doing something that he had to do. He ain't had time to get messed up. So his whole thing was banking on Charlie. So he can go run out with Charlie. So he was like, well, I'm going to see Charlie Murphy later on today, so shut up. I know I'm going to get Charlie. Me and Levi going to go over there and get Charlie Murphy. Charlie going to roll with me. So he's going to get Charlie Murphy to roll with him. And here's the thing. Eddie was supposed to come and hang out with all of them. And it was this other cousin of theirs. And then it's this comedian. He's not related to Charlie Murphy and them or Eddie, but he's like a friend of the family. And he always seemed to crack on Charlie Murphy. And that made Rick James love it. Rick James loved that. So he wanted that guy to come. He was like, man, let's go get Charlie Murphy. But he didn't want to go get Charlie Murphy because he wanted to hang out with Charlie. And he wanted Charlie there for the butt of the jokes, the entertainment. He loved to see Charlie Murphy get mad. This was part of his entertainment. Was this guy was gonna irritate Charlie Murphy, and he was gonna help instigate it. It was just part of Rick's sick mentality, but it was part of his entertainment. Rick was all about mostly entertaining himself and finding ways to entertain himself. Like everybody talk about Rick and drugs. Rick would do some drugs, recreationally, but he didn't do it just out of control like that early on. He mostly got it for everybody else so they can all enjoy themselves, and he could just sit back and watch everybody just having a good time. And he just find his spot and jump on in. So They finna go to this spot, right? So they come on in there, and it's like 4 of them. And then Rick got some people that's supposed to already be there. And sure enough, they already there, meaning girls. Some girls and some other guy. He got some stuff for Rick and everybody else. And so Rick's in there having a cigarette and all that. And the guy's talking. And he is riding on Charlie. This comedian, it's this black, little short black comedian, kind of heavy set. He ain't never take off like Eddie. But Eddie loved him. And that was the only reason that Charlie Murphy really had to tolerate him, because Eddie's a star now. You know, he's got movies out. And now, you know, here is this comedian hanging around his brother, and now he's hanging around Charlie. So Charlie don't know, you know, like, man, they gonna wait for Ed to meet them at the lounge. But Ed had something with sound check or something Ed had to do, but Ed met them later. Ed was like, I'll meet y'all there later. So they sitting there, right? And Charlie, he says, man, Charlie, you got a koala bean head. Man, look at Charlie, big koala bean head. And Rick James is just, ha, 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 you talking about your head, Charlie. Yeah, you talking about Charlie. You ain't talking about Charlie head. Big koala bean head, yeah, Charlie, man. So he just talking about Charlie Murphy. And Charlie just sitting there like, yeah, it's a good one, man. Yeah, it's real funny. So they trying to get something to eat at the thing, and he was like, oh man, we gotta get a barrel of oats and just put 2 straps on the side of Charlie's ears and let him go to town. Go. Rick James just died. Charlie, he said he gonna put a barrel of oats. Let's just get a barrel of oats for Charlie. So Rick James is loving this. So Charlie is really getting pissed. He's like, man, why don't you tell him about somebody else, man? Seems like you always talking about me. You always got something to say about me. Why don't you tell him, you got any jokes for anybody else? and the guy was like, nah, just you, Charlie. Rick James was loving this. So right away, Charlie's attitude is getting darker. His attitude is getting darker. And when everybody wrote their name on the list, right, when they registered at the hotel, so he signed his name at the hotel because they was staying there. Rick James wasn't staying there. Charlie was staying there. So when they was down there in the lounge, they finna go kick it at another club later when Ed come pick them up. Ed finna meet them there, and they all finna leave. So they down there in the lounge. And the guy says, the guy that works at the hotel, he's telling his friend, oh my God, that's Rick James and Eddie Murphy. And on the thing, it signed Charlie Murphy for his room. He's like, see, Eddie Murphy. 48 hours. And Rick James. Yeah, they're at that table. I'm going to take care of them. They was like, this is on the house, Mr. Murphy, Mr. James. And Charlie was like, all right. So right away, they're confusing Charlie Murphy with Eddie Murphy. So when they keep calling him Mr. Murphy, he just like, all right. And he just sitting there. So when Rick is getting ready to get up, he go to the bathroom. Rick goes to the bathroom with somebody else, and then the guy was coming out, and he was like, is it okay if I get the autographs? And Rick was like, yeah, I'll sign an autograph. He's like, can Eddie Murphy get here? Eddie Murphy ain't here. He's like, no, Eddie Murphy at the table. I know it's Eddie. He's like, oh, Charlie, oh, hell yeah. I get Charlie to sign. Hey, call him Charlie though. He don't want nobody to know he Eddie Murphy. Hey, hey, man, Rick thought this was the most entertaining thing he ever said. He was like, oh, they want your autograph, Charlie. So they kept calling. They said, okay, Charlie, can you sign it? These people had no idea Charlie Murphy is not Eddie Murphy. It couldn't have been that dark. I'm like, it couldn't have been that dark. He looked like the older version. So Rick James is loving this night. And so the guy was like, Charlie, what's going on, man? So Eddie shows up to pick them up. And then the people see Eddie and Charlie, and then they get up and leave. And they say, wait a minute, that's Eddie Murphy. That guy lied to us. So they go to Charlie Murphy and was like, you lied. You pretended to be Eddie Murphy. This is later on in the night. I went too fast. I'll get back to that. So they go out to the club, right? They have a good time and everything else. And the guy is just coming up with corny joke after corny joke for Charlie. Eddie's with him now. So Ed was like, so Eddie is like chilling. They in the car. They going out somewhere. So Eddie is like, man, y'all was having a good time without me. Oh, man. So he was like, Ed, can you tell that chocolate mousse to move his head back? I can't see. He got them big old moose antlers coming out from the side of his head. Them moose antlers on the side of his head. Oh, hey, Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Man, he just said you got moose antlers on the side of your head. Man, I heard his corny joke, man. Yeah, real funny. So Ed is noticing Charlie is not in a good mood. Charlie is really hot at this time. So they get to the place where they going, and all hell break loose. And when Charlie get up from the table, when the dude told another joke, Charlie get up from the table and walk off. Ed went over there. He's like, man, that dude say one more joke about me, man, I'm gonna kick his fucking heart out. Right at the table. Ed is like, I know. He's like, that's why I came to get you. Look, I'm gonna tell him to go home. He's like, I'm gonna have Fruity driving home. Nah, I'm gonna have an ambulance driving home. Oh, man. So he's like, I'm gonna have an ambulance driving home. So Charlie's pissed. So they get the guy to go home, man. He bad he going home, but Fruity got to take him home. So Charlie still want to whoop this dude really bad. but he don't. Now, after this party, Rick gets ripped. Like, he's been out partying a while, and they had a good time that night. Charlie goes back home. Everybody going back home. Charlie go back to the hotel, and the guy was like, you pretended to be Eddie Murphy. That's not cool. You know, like, that's, I ain't trying to pretend to be no damn Eddie Murphy. I did. I said Eddie Murphy. I said Mr. Murphy. And he's like, I am Mr. Murphy. I'm Charlie. No, you think that's funny because you look like Eddie Murphy? Oh, you're just a help. Charlie Murphy grabbed the dude by the back of his head, by the back of his neck, said, what the fuck did you say to me? He said, and the guy came out, the manager of the thing, oh, sir, what's going on? He said, this man just said I was the help. He said, I signed my name Eddie Murphy on the tab. I did. I'm Charlie Murphy. That's my brother. Eddie's my brother. He said, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Murphy. Yes, we have. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry about this confusion. Don't worry. Everything's on the house. Don't worry about paying for anything. It's all covered. The dude, I mean, he was like coming out about to get Charlie's money. Don't worry, sir. It's all. That dude was about to get killed. So Charlie go to bed, right? So everything cool. Next morning or whatever, they at Eddie's house. This ties into the Rick James story when he comes over to the house. This is later. Rick was tore up. And he's coming over to the house. And he had all this mud on his shoes. You heard the mud story? That Rick, that man stretch out. It was this day. And while he's over there, he's just all messed up. And they're talking about the basketball game that happened with Prince. So the Prince conversation happened around the same time. So they're talking about, yeah, you lost in Prince, a basketball with Prince? He's like, man, you couldn't play basketball against Prince. Man, Prince would do you in. Man, Prince, I'm not that little punk mother. Look, I'll put this rump on him and I'll back him down. And Rick James played basketball, like just recreationally. But he was like, Prince is about 3 of these damn toothpicks put together. You think he got on the court with me? I would let Prince whoop me in basketball? Charlie, you done lost your goddamn mind. I'll whoop your ass in basketball. So that's how the game got talked up. And then he just kept putting his feet all in the counts, and he's got the wailing on his damn leg. And Rick was, God damn, y'all play too much. Should have never gave you Negroes money. Disloyal. So now Rick James is upset because he think they don't believe he can play basketball. So now Rick just set up a game. Rick then set up a game of basketball. He gonna play at Eddie's house. So they go out. And Eddie was talking about the Bus Boys. Oh, the Bus Boys show, man. Shoot, the Stone City Band, man. Shoot, they ain't got nothing on us, but yeah, Stone City Band. He early on every goddamn note. Eddie don't know a goddamn thing about music. Man, the Bus Boys are good, Rick. Man, the Bus Boys, man, they better stay singing in them damn bars. Shoot, you telling me about music, Eddie? Stone City Band. Baddest entertainers in the world. You talking about some Bus Boys. They need to be Bus Boys. They need to be in the kitchen, soup kitchen. Talking to Rick James about music. All right, they over there stealing everybody's riffs. They can't even play it right. He early on. Ain't he early? What, Levi? Levi, ain't he early? Levi, he early on every goddamn note. So, all of this is going on, right? Now, the next morning is the game. So, they getting ready for this basketball game they keep talking about. Yeah, Charlie want to talk like, yeah, because Preston whooped on him. Because Charlie don't know what Charlie got 2 left feet anyway, tripping all over his damn self. Think Prince just embarrassed your dumb ass. Now I'm going to show you what I would do to Prince. Where did I get Charlie out there? So Charlie, I think he talked about this. I don't know if he did or didn't, but I'm kind of sure he talked about it. That's when Rick came over and he was going to get Charlie back for the doggone leg incident. And and Charlie wasn't there, so he took it out on the other cousins. He was like, oh, Charlie ain't here for the game? So Charlie wasn't there for the game. So he took it out, and Rick's whole thing is setting picks. Rick don't know a thing about basketball. He got one move. He go down there in the post like he Charles Barkley. They throw him the ball, and he throw a little hook shot off the backboard and go in. That's it. He thinks that's how you play basketball. He throw his butt in your stomach and try to knock the wind out of you, then turn around and shoot the shot up. Hey, you gotta put your rump on him. Put your rump. Man, so the whole thing was he wanted to lay somebody out for what they did to him, and they took it out on Eddie Murphy and them cousins. Since Charlie wasn't there, somebody had to get it. But Rick don't know how to set a pick in his life. His whole thing of setting a pick, he think is you bring the guy to me and I come from behind and hit him in the back of his kidneys with my forearm. That's setting a pick. Rick James hit. They set the pick. He came from behind and just whopped him in the back with a forearm, and the dude dropped over this side. And then they left. They were like, oh, that's game. They was losing. They was losing the game. Rick just took the cousin out. Rick set the pick. Wow. Yeah, that's game. Tell Charlie, man, let me know when he's back. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. That is crazy. So that is your Rick James, Charlie Murphy story right there. Done live. Oh, Rick had to get his revenge. After they done went on his legs and wailed on his legs, him and Eddie, oh, somebody had to pay. Rick set that whole basketball game up just so he could lay the wood down. He wanted to get Charlie, but he wanted to get Charlie. Charlie wasn't there, so he had to take it out on somebody. He took it out on Eddie, them cousins. One of them Murphys had to get it. Oh man, Rick is something else, boy. Yeah, man, all that's crazy because it happened all in between the two Rick James story when they went out to the club, the China Club. All these stories was like all around each other in the same area. So it's quite interesting, man. It's just how crazy the nights was. Oh yeah, man, we got plenty of stories of Rick James. People done told Rick was on the run from the police. They had the imposter Rick James on stage, everything, man. It's crazy. And then don't forget the Patreon, the Carcino for Life Patreon. Normally this would be on Patreon now. This Rick James story, I decided to give y'all this for free so y'all can see what it's like. We're gonna have some more on Patreon. But today we put out The Killing of Michael Jackson Part 2, which was even more explosive than Part 1. They tried to do everything to stop it. I had to redo that video for copyright reasons. And now you finally see it. And buddy, we revealing stuff that y'all never knew anything about. And you finna get the whole gist of what's finna come now, because that second episode is explosive. Yeah, Now, you think that's explosive? You kind of almost see where it's going, but wait till you start getting to 3 and 4, parts 3 and 4. Man, just when you thought you knew everything. That's on the Patreon. The link should be in the description box. What's up, Doe Eyes TV? Don't forget to follow her. No, Rick wasn't really super tore down that time when he played the basketball, but he was out there pretty bad. You know, he tried to show he could do Purple Rain. A lot of people don't know this. Man, y'all didn't know a lot of these things. Y'all better go watch the playlist of the Rick James videos so y'all can get caught up. Man, it was a lot of stuff and researching about the Michael Jackson thing, man, that made it so crazy that I was like, man, I didn't know it was like this. I had to go back and do a double take because I'm like, I can't believe it. I really, literally just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you remember. I know Mr. Bailey been here for the whole ride, so he know the whole story. He done seen it all, done it all. He done seen all of it. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know. Rick James wanted to make a blues album. He really, out of all the music that he's done, he wanted to make a country blues album. That was like the thing he often wanted to make. He loved the blues. His heart was there for the blues. More than anything, even though he was the king of funk and all that, he really didn't want to be known as the king of funk and all that. He was like, I really, blues, that was it for me, like a good country blues album. I really would want to make one of those. A lot of people didn't know that about Rick. Yeah, the song that they made, Glow, that was supposed to be for The Last Dragon, and Rick James ended up naming his whole album Glow. It was a mess. And that's when the guy ended up looking like Rick James in there, sure enough. And he got the glow. And they had somebody make the song, When You Got That Glow, You Feel the Blue. Rick James got played by Berry Gordy. He was signed to Gordy Records. He's supposed to do the sounds, be on the soundtrack. And it was a mess. Rick did some very volatile things. I mean, very volatile things. He was not himself at that time, you know. He allegedly pulled out some private parts in an office, you know, just was wilding. Oh yeah, and then they had Sho'nuff dressed up like Rick James. You string bean Rick James looking fool. Yeah, it was a different time. Beast, get him. Well. If it ain't the serious Lucius Leroy Green. Been waiting a long time for this, Leroy. That's one of my favorite movies. I know that movie frontwards and backwards. Every sound, every musical drop. The Last Dragon is like the ultimate song. I mean, the ultimate movie. And then the soundtrack is almost like a gigantic music video that you can still listen to the music today. And it's on hit. Is he pulling me over? Where are you going? Oh, I'm gonna say, no, he ain't pulling me over. He talking to me. No, you ain't talking to me. Laura Charles. Oh, okay. We up in here. Putting speed bumps everywhere that don't need to be. All right, little Korean lady, you gotta look both ways. She just on the phone yapping and driving in lanes. Yeah, we talked about the sequel, the script, then the one they was finna do with Samuel Jackson playing Sho'nuff and Nick Cannon playing the son. They couldn't get the budget for it. It was crazy. They blew that opportunity. Samuel Jackson would have crushed that. Yep. Blown opportunity. But yeah, I'm gonna probably do a StreamYard on The Last Dragon. Give y'all some more details on it that y'all probably didn't know. But I'm out.